Good morning. And you may have noticed that I don't have my editing program anymore. Well, I do have it, but I just don't have it installed quite right on the new computer. Yesterday, when I went to put on the video, I edited it, I put it on, and then I realized, well, it wouldn't let me upload it onto YouTube. So I've got to do some more to get it to really work. And so you're just going to see everything, just like you did yesterday. Because yesterday I'd really edited out the first part where I had to tip up the camera. And I didn't really have to tip it up. It was okay without it. So also yesterday I made the da Provence spice mix, and I really thought after I got done with that I'd go on and make some more. Well, the day just went on without it. I mean, it just took a life of its own. So I'm going to try to finish what I started, and I probably won't get to any more. Well, I might. I'm going to try to get to one more mix, but this one I'll show you what I'm doing. And da Provence can be used with chicken, and I'll use it that way plus other ways. And by the way, I did make the cup of tea. It reminded me a little bit of Earl Grey, only maybe grayer. And so I did like it because I do like Earl Grey tea, which actually has bergamot in it, and this didn't. So what I'm doing today is another chicken spice that I'll use for chicken spice. And I wanted to make a lot more of it, but I realized I've got to redo my jars. So with what I have, I'm going to make it. And today, I don't know if you, wait just a minute, we'll do that. I did use my spice grinder. I didn't roast any of the herbs, and a lot of times I do that, and some of the spice mixes I will. But I just ground them up the way they were, not roasted. So what I'm doing this morning, and it's with what I have, so it's not as big as I wanted to make, but we'll start out. It has cumin in it. And the cumin, I would say, is a very, very plus 2 tablespoons. So I'm putting that in. Then over here, what I've ground, and I haven't measured it yet, is coriander and maybe a half a teaspoon of whole black pepper, which turns out to be quite a bit actually. So I'm going to measure that out just so you get it, and I'm hoping it's about twice as much as my, well, it isn't. It's, if anything, it's a little less in here than my cumin. So, but I want more. So what I'm going to do, and coriander I do have, so I'm going to put more in here. Okay, I'm putting in about I'm going to put in 2 tablespoons and see how much, because I wanted it to be about as twice as much as the cumin. And remember, cumin and coriander marries well. Anytime that you have one, you could almost have another. So I'm putting here, I'm going to make sure I really have 2 tablespoons. And I could have ground this a little more. Okay, that's about equal parts. So what I have, I would say, is this is probably a scant tablespoon. So just a little more of the coriander. And you could do equal parts, or you can go heavy on whichever one you really like the best. And I like coriander much better than cumin. So it's a little heavy on the coriander. Then I would like to put in about a half part. The part then would be 2 tablespoons is a part. Well, I'm going to put in all of the paprika I have in here, and then I'm out. And I would say that's equal parts. Another 2 tablespoons. You could put half to 2 parts. Again, I really like paprika. So that is in here. And I usually don't put salt in my spice mixes, but this one I am, and I'm going to be putting it on chicken. And so I'm going to add, do I have my little, I thought I got it out. I didn't. Okay, I'm putting in a teaspoon of salt. Okay, and I may even put in more when I use it on my chicken, because I do like to salt sort of the surface of the chicken. It helps it cook crisp when you roast it in the oven. So that's on there, and then the last thing I'm going to do is put garlic. And yes, I am sort of looking at a recipe, and this recipe actually didn't have garlic in it, but I want garlic in it. So I'm putting about a teaspoon of the garlic powder in it. So that is my spice mix, and I'll be using it on chicken. And some of you, when you roast a chicken, use olive oil. I like to use butter. I like the flavor. And so I'll butter my chicken. I'll put this on it. And I also use lime juice a lot. So now I have 2 ways I can go with my chicken. I can flavor it with my da Provence, or I can put this new chicken flavoring on it that I made. And someplace here I have my, I dated it 1/19. I didn't put the day, but I've got the month and the year. And I've got basically what's in it. So I'm going to fill my little jar, and tomorrow when I do my chicken, I think I'll use this one first. Oh, I don't know which one I'll use first. Tomorrow will be another day. But at least now I don't have to grab individual little jars. I've got my choice of 2 spice mixes that I can use. And I feel sort of rich. Now, one last thing. I have Marie Louise and I have been talking about boxes of chocolate. And it reminded me, and I'm going to tell you something. I think once in a lifetime you should do this. Not healthy, what I did, but it was certainly fun. Have you ever been given a big box of beautiful chocolates like See's Candy or something like that at Christmas time, and it usually comes before Christmas? Well, one Christmas, and this was an empty nester Christmas, a neighbor boy came, and we were going to put up the Christmas tree together and make some gingerbread houses. So we were going to spend time together, and I had that box of chocolates. And I said to him, you know what we're going to do today? We are going to taste just a nibble off of each piece of chocolate. Have you ever wanted to do that? well, today we're going to do it. And so we'd work a while, we'd go over and look at all these chocolates, pick one that appealed to us, and just take a bite, a small bite off of it. And by the end of the day, every piece in that box had 2 nibbles out of it. And then we would compare, oh, this one is so good. Here, taste this one. Or the last one I think was better. But it was a fun thing to do. And if you've never done that, maybe you should think about doing it. And I know I said how healthy I wanted to be. This is not a healthy thing to do, but it's certainly a fun thing to do. So I'm going to let you go. Spice up your life today. Eat a piece of chocolate.